PRX.
I think at the very beginning, this is set up to be an explosive game. The Des pointed out that neither of these teams are playing meta, and both teams love to fight. QCK immediately has just spotted 3 people over towards tiles.
We got lucky that we didn't quite miss the action there getting into the game because
both of these teams are so fast.
Yeah, slow pause as well, just off the rip, waiting for the reaction of PRX. And look at this, there is that reaction. Loud wandering and wading into mid, trying to go for the double setup, just swinging into it now with the fault line to set this one up. They want to try and take the brawl, and it's a delayed fight, honestly. At 1 minute, who can really call it? This is it, the damage now, finally. Bullets peppering through, and blind as a bat does not matter for Kawazine. There needs to be the response, and it's there. PRX coming out swinging. Heads have been found here, straight to the cranium. The shots, that's a little bit messy. Still, the job getting done. QCK, last one standing. Players are weak, walking right into him, but he instant trade. And so a pistol round for PRX, a highlight being focused on by the desk, talking about how much these pistol rounds matter for both of these teams. They're leading in terms of that metric here in Madrid, but it's PRX who are the victors.
And guess who comes out on top throughout all of that? Being able to bail his team out of a rough situation from top mid against a tiles crunch, essentially. It's Forsaken, the guy who's been clearly, in my opinion, the best player for PRX at this tournament. I don't think he was during kickoff. I don't think he always has been, but he is right here, right now. Getting him online, getting something online, major win conditions in a match like this where we're expecting so much of this to be brawly. I mean, Loud immediately taking a gamble in round 2, going for a mid-exploration.
Might be caught by Mindfreak. I mean, Mindfreak only has the Sheriff. Plenty of shots. Rattled away. Narrowly missing the heads here. Snakebite dropped down, vulnerable. Kawazine's holding some util out into his hand. Doesn't know which direction. Flash through. There it is, the follow-up and double face. Might be cleaned up, though, here by Devi. Should be, at least. Nice reactions, yeah. Beautiful business. At this point, though, no real chances for Loud. It looks like to really win this round, but a good chance to highlight really how important winning that pistol round. And this follow-up as well is for them. I mean, PRX and Loud with these comps, very ult generation heavy. They want to try and get these ultimates online, their attack sites. They want to go for these big XX with them. They've got util, they want to dump it into these sites alongside the ultimates.
Yeah, and I think they're going to turn Ascent into an attack-sided map as well. It's one of the reasons I think that QCK's gone back to the Phoenix here rather than the Yoru they were dabbling with. They know that PRX are running this comp without a Sentinel anyway. They're not worried about a Cypher or being able to get into the sites. It is truly a bizarre situation we find ourselves in. Very different from metas past when these two teams clashed. But they have been here through thick and thin and through all the metas in Valorant.
Don't get me wrong, I mean, PRX have never been standard, even on Ascent.
That's very true.
Playing their Reina Harbor comp.
They're not standard on any of the 3 maps we have today.
And who knows which direction it's going to go into. Kawazine taking a peek and a wander. Will get at least punished for it. Head taken clean off. Less. 3 peeks. Plays looking away, but a nice double face of PRX, making sure that they clean up those mistakes. And now the smoke's dropped down. More exploration into mid. Only a stinger, so Forsaken can't quite take a peek, but will they clear this corner? The peek angle, Sadak might just be able to react in time. He's not going to push it. He's just holding for it. 2 years. Anticipating some sort of reaction there. Something now. He's in a forward, close position. Sadak lucky to be alive there with the util out into his hands, but finally with the Paranoid Ascent flying. Follow through with Devi. Watching all the appropriate angles and avenues of the plant down 2 versus 2.
Cover going out.
PRX are going to be able to pull a lot of time off the clock here, even if Loud is successful.
Only in the smoke, flash around the corner, but it's an empty site. Fully evacuated. Wall up. This is cheeky. Devi now has to get a move on, pushing forwards. QCK half on the board, finds the first kill. 1 versus 1. Can he win it? It's a gamble! Has he got it? Time just about! And that's from that half he got prior. Holy!
What a clutch from QCK. Now that is going to obliterate the Loud economy, because it was a bonus round for PRX. But still, to be able to find the 1v2 there, defending the wall against Devi. Look, he comes off it just at the perfect time to be able to grab that one. But like I said, it's a bit of a Pyrrhic victory. Loud cannot buy into the next. So despite the fact they get on the board, PRX achieve their goals, essentially. And already, we're seeing an attack-sided operator come online for something.
He loves to pull it out.
He's the strangest Gecko player you will ever watch. Do not study his VODs if you're trying to learn Gecko in your ranked games.
I've been watching some old Kang footage.
Yeah.
They really do love to opt into it.
He's also got a vendetta against Dizzy. He tosses him away and doesn't ever pick him back up.
Contacting in could be spelling his own defeat and doom here. There's a judge. Close to the corner, Sadak. Real specialist with that regard. Here we go, thrash forwards, wants to take the fight. Stray shots flying through. Pellets for no kill. Only the damage being done. Munyet now fast onto the approach here. Have to cancel that ult for a bit of info. Devi, and they have taken tree control. Looking to slip into the back here. Now QCK has a rifle and he's watching for this. No swings yet, just holding for the right time. He's Might Freak with that one, with the pause being called. I mean, PRX, this is a bit of nuance being added into their own gameplay here. Two left standing, double face into heaven. That was the real threat, which was QCK with that rifle. With him dealt with, it looks like a sealed up, done deal, detained. You might see some knife action swinging around. We won't make the London reference again, but listen, you know the deal.
For a knife kill, I mean, it wasn't even a knife kill, but for the knives to be coming out for PRX in round 4, yeah, this is going to tick all the boxes.
I think it speaks massively, I think, to their mentality coming into this. I mean, Alex did a fantastic interview, really going in deep in terms of the mentality of PRX as a team. They were saying they'd be happy if they just got one win at this event.
One win?
They're treating it as almost like just a practice boot camp. Yeah. And so the fact that they've made playoffs, they're playing with house money. You might not think that's much, honestly, if you're listening to that as a viewer at home, but I tell you now, there is no team more dangerous than a team with nothing to lose.
Yeah. And a team that's readjusted their expectations. Oh, this is a great idea from PRX. They're making it feel like it's full A main exec, and they've got Munyet so deep into tree already. Faking as if everybody's coming towards A main.
Rapid here with a nightfall as well. Sound cue's cut away. It's going to be breaking the glass, and already in their faces. More. They know that they've got a couple of trails, so that's why the nade's rebounding under, below, sees, connects, but there it is. Nade just wrapping around and collecting onto 2 years. Too much to deal with. Rocket in your face. But yet, eager to really prove his worth. High and mighty now, one player left standing. You don't need me to say it, you can hear the crowd chanting. QCK.
I don't think he's got any intention of allowing the ace to occur. QCK's miles away from it. What a beautiful setup, though, for PRX. I don't think PRX get enough credit for the way that they set up some of their tactical stuff, because they move so quickly and so fluidly, people just assume it's very intuitive and there isn't too much thought really going on. That round, they're making it feel like a big A exec. All of the utility is coming through A, and Munyet finds the timing down mid. When you're a defender on Ascent, if you see utility being piled into A main and you're playing in like tree or grass, you are going to focus on A main. You expect it to be 4 or 5 people coming from that direction. And so the fact that PRX have 2 going through as an A split, even though they're not throwing utility for those people splitting it, absolutely ruins this defense. The small adjustments that they make are lovely. But I feel like we've seen this team evolve over the course of this tournament.
They have, yeah.
I'm completely sure that Alex is telling the truth when he says that when they came into this, they were only looking for one win. And I was watching them in kickoff, and frankly, I wasn't that impressed with what I was seeing from PRX.
No, it was very slapdash, you know. Yeah. They were throwing ideas into the moments being read out aloud. They've had that time now to reinvent themselves ever so slightly. Now, Loud, with that timeout, we're heading into the half bye. They're going to have time to think about some of the mistakes, the adjustments. Probably not going to be seeing them active here.
And I think one of the things that you're seeing from Loud is that they're very willing to fight forwards. You see the angle that Kawanzin is currently playing at. Think about Sadek with the judge, Kawanzin playing market aggressively. They want to contest PRX and not just give them space. But finding those timings and being able to match the tempo of a team like PRX is quite difficult.
Okay.
Especially if they're hitting timing shots like that.
Yeah, just off the cue of the flash. 2 players are left stacked now. Cat is being watched. You can see something. He's got his eye on it. Anticipating that there might be that reflank with a minute on the mark here for the round. Definitely time to play with. Definitely time to work around. But if they do walk into the Bucky, there is some level of danger here. I mean,
Sadak can't really escape, though.
No, but Mindfreak is way ahead of the pack, so I don't think he's going to get traded, and he isn't. So Sadak's still stuck here. Might have to use util. Nade drop down as well. This guy is now a nuisance. A thorn in their side. He's buying them time, and the mosh pit has to be committed. Force him out wide into the open. Still alive, by the way.
Munyet, he walked in through A main.
Okay, well, he's found that timing from the classic, okay, a heaven position, 2 years, he's got his, and now it is a little bit messy and scrappy.
But
Words I use.
But Monyet lurked in through A main, and now Devi is lurking in through B main. So, because Loud are playing this composition, oh my god, what a shot. Because Loud are playing the comp without the Sentinels, that doesn't play spread around the map, that needs to group up and fight and peek for info, PRX are finding those lurk timings real nicely.
They didn't get ahead of themselves, did they? Didn't get flustered when Sadak got that initial kill. They managed to get themselves into an advantage position, arguably here, lit up a beacon pointing directly towards in a double face. There's no hesitation in the play of PRX there.
No, I don't think that they were anticipating the Horn coming out, though. Forsaken being deep on the B site, they just weren't ready for that Horn lineup in the slightest. Bear in mind that this was a light buy round, so it wasn't the most danger in the world. That timeout that you were talking about, Ren, that Loud took, that's for the rifle round coming up here. Yeah. And we can see that QCK is going for an operator, so you've got the Phoenix op online. Get your bingo cards out. Did you have that one down? Phoenix op versus Gecko op.
There's no chance. Just no chance at all. Fast though, a lot of util now being dumped straight into main. Instant response though, that was a paranoia fragment.
Yeah, actually so much utility being used there by Loud because every other team would cancel after they get full 5-person hit by the KO knife, but not PRX. They will still try to apply pressure to you, trying to look for that timing. So Loud forced to use more utility than you would normally expect, but just giving so much respect.
Hit the TP. Must have.
Certainly thinking about it, wasn't he?
Yeah, almost expecting it now, and a call's been made here. Sadak, a re-clear into mid. Possibly some util to set this one up with the Prowler. PRX going to be aware. Nade going wide here, but yet no one to cover! Kawazine! Disgusting work, and QCK would have followed through.
Here are the lurkers. 1-3-1 default for PRX. It's on Mindfreak or something to try to find timings. The spike dropped, makes everything way more difficult.
Whoa, what a shot.
Yeah, he does find that opening.
Let's see if this gets work here. Being defended up into mid, crouched, tucked into the corner. That's Sadak. He's essentially alone in this spot. They've doubled up through main. Now he's crouched. He does find that angle and fight. So 1v3 looks just less and less likely. Yeah, it is running and gunning. Okay, saves the day there for Loud. Finally getting that second one on the board.
And Loud choosing to try to fight over mid. I think they're getting the read now. After the timeout, the PRX are playing pretty heavy from mid. And with the Viper wall that Loud goes for, they have the advantage over fighting that cat kind of area.
Yeah.
You see where the Viper wall goes? Well, assuming that Les throws the same one in this round. And you see that Loud can double up with Tui's Sadak and try to fight over that area. Now, you know, yeah, there it is. There's the wall going down at the beginning of the round. A judge for Sadak, as is
tradition.
Classic.
As is tradition. Loves to pull it out. Big ults now being earned and built up here for Loud as well. Plenty in the war chest. A main control, B main control. Heavy priority here for Loud because they know how close PRX are to a few of these big ultimates. That's a nice one. QCK punishes that one. Mindfreak usually going to be the lurking player.
I like that Loud swap it up. Previous round they were playing heavy for mid. Now they're playing heavy for the outsides of the map. And Sadak, he's used the ult there. I'm not exactly sure what pressure that was off, but he certainly thought something was happening.
Did indeed Forsaken. Oh my, looked all the way up. Does Kawazine even expect this? No, he's backing away. Silent jumps up though. I don't think Forsaken knows that he's backed away from the angle. He's waiting for time, honestly, making a lot of noise on both sides of the map. There's a Thrash and Monyet just making it feel like it could be presence over towards any direction. QCK layers down with a volley, but a TP forwards to just get right past it. Devi slunk his way into the side, but can he follow up with this kill here? There's so much going on all over the place.
Yeah, Forsaken lurking through mid, caught though, and now Monyet becomes the other lurker.
25 seconds left. He loses his duel at 2 years. Critical one at that. Even no gaps here into the play. Judge right in his face, and operator as well, the barrel practically in his mouth.
That is a bizarre round for PRX, but you can see that they're very clearly trying to work their lurkers into position. It's just that none of them actually found any success. Alex is calling a timeout here and might want to readjust the game plan to have less of the lurk plays going on, but to be honest, look, Forsaken's got a chance of making something happen there. I don't think Kawazine knows that he's around. And if Monyet is able to win the duel against Tui's, these lurkers are finding opportunities, but when they lose their duels, it looks stupid. It looks like they were just destined to fail. But with Loud were nose to the grindstone immediately. Started in October, only taking about a month break after Champs, and tried to reinvent themselves, find this new style. And this is what they've settled on.
Hello. Brawl to be taken here. This is an onslaught approaching from every single direction, and nobody can hang on. PRX didn't stand a chance. They're the ones that's supposed to be going for the W gaming.
And such a classic, great idea from Loud. You come out of your opponent's timeout and run a set play to steal the tempo. And they've wiped the floor with PRX. An absolutely flawless round. You'll see that so often. It's a great idea. Your opponent takes a timeout. They clearly want to adjust something about their attack style. And you say, right, well, we're just going to force the fight to them. And they go for a bit of a tiles crunch there, punishing a very wide jumping by Monye. Ruining everybody over towards B.
Yeah, PRX players left reeling.
Devi going for the glass cannon Vandal in this round. So the economy in a weird spot. That is an unusual thing to opt for. Been watching the Haodong VODs.
Yeah, apparently. China gets wild with those. Strange economical purchases. Still, Prowler here setting it up. Disrespect by something. Look at this guy. He's up onto the angle. Doesn't care that he stand up. Hits it with a second shot. Finally, the second bullet. Dashing in with the satchel. And he's upset the aim entirely. Kawazine didn't know which way to look, didn't know which way to aim. Opens up the sight now for the plant. His post-plant positions of PRX pretty sublime. Devi falling. Only chances here.
QCK is going to be ulting back in potentially with only an op to work with.
Dropping wall down in his face, Molly. Oh, goodness me. How does that one catch? Everybody's giving this up, it looks like. What is that? Hello. 2 years. Chasing him over extension. No, I don't think there's any chances. Listen, surely time is running out, but handing these kills just over to him.
And considering the PRX's economy was not amazing to come into this round, these are not fantastic kills to be given in the other direction, but it won't make too much difference because we're so close to the end of the half.
Yeah. Maybe a 200 IQ player didn't see how close they were to the ultimates, but maybe they're like, okay, let's just feed our life away. 2 years has already got it. Let's try and build up ours.
What a way of entering, right? Monye skipping, jumping into the site, and the spacing perfect for the trade. That, coordination not quite as good there. We'll keep an eye on that.
Did him dirty.
Oh, you know the camera operators are watching for every one of those
Hunting
situations.
For it, yeah.
Kawazine set up with the Odin here to spam into B main.
Face your fear!
Early knife fall. This is an attempt of a fake, but the early knife gives it away. Only one tag. That's going to be onto Forsaken, so the goal of that really to try and make a fake play over towards A. Cut away to sound cues. Odin spam spraying through. They are getting absolutely destroyed here. Yes, something managed to win his one, at least through the main angle. Alter now with that showstopper. Wants to send it and let it rip. Rolling Thunder cannot save you away from that one. It's explosive, high-octane action, but an adjustment there. Beautiful by 2 years. Really just expecting that reposition, and it's about catching the tempo and the timings here. Walking right into it, but misses the opportunity. 2 years. Jump spots, gets a bit of additional information.
Good patience, though, not trying to force the fight in this situation, because they have a player advantage to go for the retake. This is going to take effort from Forsaken and something to clutch this out.
Feels confident enough to use the Thrash here to try and clear his way forward. So I'm popping up onto the boxes. Forsaken going walkabouts towards Tree, leaves it. Now 1v3. QCK's on the flank. Should be unwinnable. Blind as anything. Hasn't given it away though. Still was holding the shift key this entire time, but if he opens himself too wide, QCK's already there. Justin, did he see anything? Not too sure. Call being made, jumping down, and there it is. The kill found.
Very competitive half that we've had so far here. PRX have found some opportunities to burst into the site, but the more that they default, the more Loud are picking them apart, I think. You saw there a cute idea from PRX, like you said, going for that fake play. But the exec, it wasn't quite coordinated as well as you would hope for. Certainly not compared to the previous round, where Forsaken was right behind Monye on the entry. Perhaps lacking that fade in terms of the pressure that they put onto B. final round of the half, chances to tie this up, but PRX's economy in the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Compared with double op setups I saw for a moment there on Loud. They'd probably toss them on the floor, looking to play them in the early game.
A heavy stack of Loud as well. They can play over towards A because Les has got the pit down. Not being contested. He was assisted with an early fault line of Kawazine. Look at QCK, he's not worried about it.
No, he's not. I mean, they don't, you know, you would be a little cautious in this situation for some pop flashes through the smoke or this kind of thing, but he's not worried.
Nice shot, 2 years. Expecting it from the high ground angle. QCK. Ball thrown at them. Still, it's back to a multitude of players now, and he's got to try and at least put up that wall to try and prevent them from getting past it. 2 years repositioned, still with the operator, and it's PRX who are the ones who aren't coming up with really any of the appropriate answers. Double smokes out to try and get themselves into position, but it's being spammed with the rifle at work. Hopes and dreams placed onto the end of the barrels, and everything stolen away from them. So evened up. Loud doing a miraculous job there, honestly, bringing it to 6-6.
I think this map is probably going to be a little attack-sided. I think it bodes fairly well for Loud that they were able to pick up so many rounds towards the end of that. It's a game of 2 halves there.
Oh,
brutal. But I think the adjustments looked nice. 2-E's with the operator on Omen ended up playing really well.
he's getting tremendous value, putting in work. Well,
this tournament, the more they'll be learning about themselves.
Yeah.
6-6 at the half. Both QCK and Monyet playing well individually so far. But Loud's composition is devastatingly effective when it comes to site executes. So I'd expect PRX to be doing their classic style of trying to disrupt things before you allow your opponents to ever get into an exec.
Deep delayed knife. Monyet was tagged, but he did not care. Still holds his ground.
Interesting that PRX have gone for a defensive wall that allows them to, you know, contest mid as well. So they're not worried about Loud's wall.
Giving up that presence, Loud now opting to just contact in through A. And it's an open site, it's a free site. It seems to be a bit of a read. Look at them, they're just fast on the approach. Maybe just hearing those sound cues out towards tree, but it closed the door in their faces. A bit of stray damage. Sadak is going to be safe though. Safe and sound, able to get that plant down.
They need reinforcements quickly. Their PRX are apt to flood defend. Kawazine and Les are still really far away.
Pause in a play, a bit of a break in the timing, at least taken. Monyet still with that nade now. Does he choose to use it? Fragment. First wave of it being used out. Here it sends it. Paranoia go flying along with the Dizzy. Swarming into the side. Yeah, 3 players into hell. Anything to clear this one. Might have to just jump in. It's a beautiful smoke. 2Years is using it to just divide up this site as well, and it's making it more than difficult. Damn difficult. Have on a defuse. Might make a difference. PRX mind free. Going forward. Right click. Away. An absolute bundle differential. Something running. A mockery. Straight through main. Plenty of time available to them. Beautiful. Flawless with the execution of that one.
I don't know how he's managed to pull that one out. 3 players in hell with the smoke set up. The spike is planted for them. Very clear game plan.
What classic is he? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
Look at that thing. It shoots different.
Sale numbers up. Get the chart out, Leo. Get the chart out.
Why is there a dinosaur? Don't know. Don't care.
It
Go
looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah, that's a nasty round from Mindfreak. Nothing more to it, really, is there? Loud had a game plan. It got dismantled by some right clicks from the classic.
Sometimes it be like that. You
really
get
do.
shot, you die.
So again, PRX being able to win the pistol round, right? They won the first.
Yeah.
And one of the things the desk was talking about, Kukuka was saying, that they didn't really get much else in their prior game.
Taste of their own medicine. It's not Sadak who's going to be receiving it, though, but Kawazine and 2Years grouped up side by side.
They can pivot this quickly into a B split, though.
Contacting, punish for that. Could try and pivot, but not now.
They couldn't get away. They simply couldn't get away from something with this judge.
Chasing them down. And into mid as well. Pistols out now. Wants to take the long range fight. You know the players are tucked into the corner. There it is, cleared out. Last one to stand here. So an important beginning really for PRX. I mean, again, we talk about these comps. We expect them to be attack-sided. Big execute, generating these ults. It's a clear game plan for both of these teams. PRX winning this pistol and a follow-up eco. You know, relatively cleanly. I mean, the economy is flourishing after this.
Yeah.
They can come into this bonus looking nice and strong.
Just to talk about how Loud got anti-stratted so heavily during kickoff by EG, part of that was a Cypher, which doesn't exist for PRX. Part of it was a double Odin buy, which we might see later on in the half, so keep your eyes open for that. And the other part was playing disruptively before Loud could get into execs. I think this is a perfect round to go for that more aggressive, disruptive defense.
That's a lot of util, isn't it?
It's a lot of util, but it's all a fake. It's to make you feel like they're fighting over A. And PRX already out there, looking to try to catch a reposition elsewhere on the map. Now Loud have just decided to slowly contact re-clear this area, which is a serious gamble, but they have called the bluff of PRX perfectly. What a read.
Not sure who that is on the team. Give it to Sadak for now. Nade into the corner. Devi almost getting spammed down, losing his life. But here we are. Another close plant situation. Loud will be getting this plant down with no real pushback.
Don't put 3 in hell again, though.
No, probably not. Playing up close, though. QCK in front of the smoke.
Careful now.
Only laid down. Backing away. Now, PRX did use a lot of that util just in the beginning of that round, so I don't know how much they've got now for this retake attempt. Weaponry's not too ideal either, but Dizzy does the work. 3 revealed and suppressed out there. Forsaken is just in their faces now. Still trying to double up into hell.
Against the judges.
Just pushing them back as well, and there's just random spam and spraying through. PRX, man! Running them through! And still now the sticking on! Broken! Destroyed in the process. Man's there, ready to try and pick up the pieces of this fight, but can reset the aim in time. Something dropped.
Little bit of danger. Pretty decent damage, considering that that was a bonus round. But Loud do come out on top.
1 enemy remaining.
He just managed to get enough kills from 2Es, holding out in A main, supporting the rest of his team. And so here we see 1 Odin being picked up for PRX. This is what their setup's going to look like a little more often. That's over towards B main. Now, Les is usually going to be trying to take B main control, and the Odin's powerful there. But actually, we're seeing a fight on the exact opposite side of the map. He's so aggressive with the op.
Just takes it to him. And that's because Loud, you know, they're waiting for these right timings. And they think that they're ready for it. I mean, they're holding that with a lot of players. But something's just too quick with it, man. Too quick with it. 8 rebounds close to the corner. That's Munya hoping to catch a player that might have just repositioned there.
What I love about Something is he's so good with Gecko's mobility utility, the legs.
Yeah, I love the way he presses 3 on the keyboard. Pulls out the knife just to run away. Oh, he does it better than anybody.
Devi does not have a paranoia to play off here. He's got to rely on the Thrash.
Yeah, he's using the Thrash to trying to set this up here. Good return on the fire there from Sadak.
Down A.
Gets the trade-off at least. Attainment into the corner, so it's slowed them down once more, but 50 seconds left into the round. No prior map control here for Loud.
Yeah, they've stacked everything in a fight over towards A main. They're losing it, and now PRX have 3 players ready to collect.
Deep orb. Placed by Les. Trying to use this to try and get themselves into position. That spam, the spray, a few stray bullets, TP forwards into the mix of things. But listen, Munya, inside the smoke, Loud! Paving the way forwards here. It's brute force, it seems to be the name of the game, but only 1 player will stand. Sadak, the IGL, does not stand a chance there. Collected onto the position.
And this is a very classic round by Loud. They realize that their composition is extremely good at A executes. So they try to dominate A main at the start of these rounds with 4 or 5 players. And even if you know that they're going A, their comp is very, very difficult to stop once they send a big exec into you. But before they can even start to take A main control, Something's already run out and got a pick at the very beginning of the round on their duelist player who has an ult to try to entry.
The tempo just at those extremities, man. I mean, it's a clear, confidence-driven player, I think, as well. I mean, if you take a gander at any of the PRX vlogs as well, you see it. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve, actually. He has to be picked up on a frequent basis. You know, confidence around him, being the support staff and the players, his teammates. But when he has good games, you know, this guy is just unleashed.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Well, they know where he's positioned at the moment, and that's where you should expect the op to play. Many flashes to try to push him off the line.
Try and defend the line as well. Bit of Odin spam and spray through. Jumping spot, you do not survive that apparently. It's a nice attempt and a nice clear runs, but still as they're trying to swarm the positions, they're getting absolutely pounded with artillery. Lesto. 1 HP, man, 1 HP. Maybe more than a dream. He's managed to bring this to a 2v2. Doesn't have the spike, though. That was dropped down a little bit earlier.
Look how bold Forsaken is. He just jumped up on the same spot with a classic in hand.
Jeez.
He's seen it!
Just altered up there, and he just sees him crouched.
That's unreal!
Knee or an elbow, I'm not too sure, but it just pokes out here. It's on the other side of the map.
And he's thinking, how on earth have my team lost this? What's going on?
Just no shot. I mean, Les, of course, being a difference maker. Now, they don't know where Munya is.
They have no idea. And PRX are the kind of team to over-rotate a little on defense, so they assume that he's close.
30 seconds
Now
left.
Monyet's wondering, well, where have they gone? Because if they were just on B, surely they would have got the plant down.
Incredibly winnable. How low these two players are for Munya.
He could kill them both with one nade.
Exactly. The nade, and not just that, went away from the showstopper, for he really wanted to try and seal the deal. Here it is. He's got a lot to clear here, but maybe gifted yet. Bit of that information. Pulls out the rifle, expecting the re-swing. Both the players are towards the back of the site now. A smoke. Drop down, classic out. Thinks twice against it, thinks second against it. Boombot forwards, that's gonna have to be broken. Nade, rebounds, out wide, and now he's just firing. Here's the rocket, talked about it earlier. Pre-fires in the corner, but he guesses incorrectly. And now he's left wondering, which way is 2 years? How did he reposition? Time, ticking, shortly getting away from him. He thinks he's behind the boxes. A miscon perhaps away from it. 2 years wins it out, and the MasterCard Thrifty.
What a wild way to end that round. I'm really unsure how it even got to that point, frankly, but you could just see the mind games between both of those players.
B.
The less information there was available, the more it favored Les and Tui's.
Watch them run.
Just a walk in through B main. And this one,
One enemy remains.
who ults into that spot?
Unheard of. Truly unheard of.
God, that's a face of
It's scary.
resignation almost.
It's a
on
scary
Alex's
face, isn't it?
He's normally a little more animated than that.
Be practicing stoicism or mewing, not too sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Either inspired by Marcus Aurelius or Sigma males.
yeah.
Yeah. Very similar, actually, very similar. So Loud now in a great position, right? Having won that round, it just turns the whole of Ascent, at least this half, on its head. Their economy is now flourishing, right? They're going to be in a position where they've got a good economic bank to work with. And they're also coming into this round with a huge rifle advantage, starting to get up to big ults. This is where Loud's attack side comp looks so scary, even though they're one round behind in reality.
That's when they start to come alive. This spot here, it's how pivotal that last round was for PRX to end up winning it out. The weak goodbye for Forsaken. How much is he really going to be able to do here with a runner back facing him? QCK going to be making sure to clear all the available corners. Has a bit of utility to set him up. Knife out. One to the cranium. Does drop that one. Here we go. Second go of things. Forsaken doing quite well in that position there, but only going even here. 4 versus 4, but he has more time for the fast rotate.
And everybody on Loud playing on-site post plants. You know, even if Loud are able to get this, PRX can make it extremely expensive just by holding B main and the defense spawn.
Being cleared out now. Smoke propped up. Pre-firing up to the sky. Expecting Dizzy. Ozine though, now defaulting over towards the fold line, using that util to try and delay. But you are right, this could get pricey very, very quickly. Dizzy, broken. You're in there with the protocols, and now it is Loud to realize they have to really just barrel their way through this one. They are being penned in here with the guns, should be favored. Almost nice with the movement there from Divide, but shut down there. 2 players surviving from Loud, 9-9, even scoreline.
And Loud keep enough players alive that they do still have that cushion to work with. Tui's can drop Sadak, and they've got a good buy going with some spare cash to float around. It's Loud's ults that now become an issue for PRX. The more you let them get set up to go for example, the Rolling Thunder, the more difficult it's going to be. I'm looking at the minimap, and PRX look poised to go for some serious A-main aggression.
That puts the pressure on Mindfreak, doesn't it?
Yeah, because as soon as Sadak calls that, they're going to be running into the pit, I would imagine.
Drop down, knife, spam into the corner. Mindfreak already dropped down to 50. Never mind, he's dead.
He's gone.
Finished. Dealt with.
And now, to be honest, Loud have no reason to immediately go into a B site hit. Right? They know that PRX are very fast on defensive rotations, They cleared out Gelato early. Loud can just pump the brakes here and allow PaperX to spread out a little bit around the map, or even force them into making a play that they can punish.
No command. Smoke off the timing for it, just trying to block off B main here. Molly sent flying into the smokes available here, ready with the spam. Damage being done. Sadak barely alive, but does return the fire. Forsaken still.
What a
tucked
spot.
into the side. Yeah, but not going to be clear potentially, but faced by too many targets in opposition. This time storming into the site. It's going to be gained for them with that territory. Loud now. Reload. The Odin, two players left alive here. Munyet, though, has got us back to all the available players. Flash is really quite excellent, peeking through it. So now Loud taking that lead, 10-9. We talked about it, that danger zone for them, but this is how the comp operates, how it works.
And you can see the PaperX are trying to disrupt it. If that had been Loud taking a main control at the start of the round instead of B main control, then they would have had an enormous clash in Gelato.
Yeah.
And who knows who would have come out on top. But PaperX kind of gambled incorrectly.
Okay. He said it, not me. I can hear cackling from the desk, man.
All right.
Elimination game.
PaperX are in a tough position here, though. They really are. It's about to spiral out of control. Forsaken's not really found opportunities to have his will imposed upon the game. And he snuck up to try to take fights. Grabs one, and he gets out.
Forsaken scot-free, man.
He's the player that's been the difference maker this tournament, and he wants more.
Oh, punished with the jump spot.
So punished for that.
Two players waiting for him to just make that kind of mistake with the paranoia flash over the top. There was a bit of a team blind, but on side control for them. And now fighting towards market. Something dropped dead. Difficult spot the PaperX are being put into here is that the fact that Loud are just getting into these sites, obviously it's against a half by PaperX, but they're not having to use ultimates doing it. They can save them now for when PaperX have a bit of a buy round, the money's back into an orderly and sensible fashion.
PaperX here. Again, the silver lining would be to apply enough pressure that the ults do get invested. It just doesn't seem likely, though.
No, it doesn't, does it?
And PaperX's game plan has broadly been... Hello, we'll just see. No, there's no danger here. PaperX's game plan has broadly been to try to stack one of the sites and just kind of hope that Loud are going there.
One enemy remaining.
And the problem with that is, if you gamble incorrectly, Loud have just got into a post-plant situation.
Yeah.
And not just that, PaperX are not playing the other side for full retake. They're playing it to still anchor with like one player. For example, when Mindfreak was inside his pit. Or here where Forsaken is trying to challenge B main alone for a cheeky kill. They're on the eco. But if you're gonna stack one side of the map super heavy, you're kind of forced to play full retake on the other. And just rely on your double initiator comp. At least something's enjoying himself out there. This is the round where PaperX absolutely must get back in control if they have any chance of winning Ascent.
Need it. And group positions here. I mean, the Molly, maybe not 10 for that one, but just to slap it down. Onto the orb. Paranoia, blind, nade, rebounds, and we'll clear out a few of these players too. He is timely there with a TP.
But Loud are going for a lot of re-clears, right? We haven't seen them go for big rotates around the map. PaperX are realizing that. 3 hits coming through.
And here it is, rolling thunder. That will be a large.
Divide dodged it.
I did dodge it, but there's a one-way smoke into his face. At least they deal with that, run it back. Divide, does he seek to try and disrespect this timing? Out and through, yes. The PaperX players still holding their ground and basically rooted in place. And Les is now going to offload the pit to try and get them through. This is a call.
This is an amazing ult if you're planning to rotate and maybe split or go over to B. It's not that great for going into site, but it keeps a lot of players on site.
Using a Nightfall. 2 tags. Here and out, Prowler sent straight through tree, wondering if that split's coming through, but now with 40 seconds, Loud are happy to wait this one out, but which direction are they going to take it towards? A seems like the likely contender.
They've smoked for a B split though, so Forsaken's worried.
30 seconds left.
He's had to watch and peel himself away. Top of mid, eyes onto it, Munyet. Paranoia settling in, Devi inside the smoke, wants to rule that position and take names away from them.
What?
Picked up, he's right behind them!
What?
What is that kind of play? Still, heads are falling and so are the bodies, toppling down. Time working against them now, over the top and running around. Oh my God.
That is the most important round though that PaperX could have secured in that moment. They got the read that it was over towards A. They're starting to figure out how Sadak's calling the attack side. Do you remember earlier on in this game, PRX were throwing huge utility into A main and then rotating away, expecting Loud to pivot. Do not want to hit a heavy
10
site.
seconds left.
And because Sadak's been going for re-clears and re-hits so often, PRX had stacked so heavily on that area. Now, if that has got to be Alex's reaction to 2Es making the play, because he had that one moment of despair and didn't follow up on it. 2Es is actually ready to counter-op something in B main. But something, for whatever reason, has got those tingles on the back of his neck. He knows it's not a great idea, but he's starting to creep a little closer.
Fuse has been spotted, tucked to the corner. Now it is home, and he can reposition here, but sets him up onto the line nevertheless, but now he's going to back away and respect it. Important to note, you know, we talked about it that previous round, but Loud did end up using 2 or 3 ultimates, something. Wall up in his face, contact plays, and he's out of there. Backing away, covering fire from Forsaken. Making sure the evacuation goes off without a hitch. Walking straight into the line of sight. It's something who's sniping them away in precision across the board for PRX. Wiping out the opposition.
Awesome round. This has really turned the tables. It's only Cowanzine left alive. They know where he is. Trapped in a corner. He's going to have to duel 4 players to be able to get out of here.
Util and the stun.
He's just stuck.
No chance, so
11-11.
and the adjustments coming in handy.
Yeah, looking lovely. PRX don't try to contest super early. They've got like a slightly delayed op peek into B main, which is a nice timing to go for that. And they just catch this timing. Something is always a couple of seconds ahead of the play here. If he was a second slower peek in market, he might have died to QCK. If he was a second slower peek in B main, probably dies to 2Es. It's all about those tiny, fine margins. No hesitation.
Loud scratching their heads a little bit here, wondering how they can get that advantage. Now Les takes a load of damage off the rip, 61 health drop down.
Yeah, it's actually one of the first times we've seen Les try to solo take this area, and he's immediately dropped.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a counterplay, I think, as well. Les usually throwing the orb from that angle.
Something makes it feel like it's the same setup in this round, which broadly speaking it is, by taking that op shot into market. And now it's actually caused Loud to pivot away. They do not want any of that smoke.
Crack of an angle. Devi turns away just at the right time. Flash in his face, backs away now holding the paranoia. Now there is no contact for this kind of play, so he's going to be backing away to the site and gives up control of Tree.
With all of this noise, something's getting on a more aggressive line, so if they try to go back into a
Re-clear.
B-split, it's going to be difficult.
Clear, just can't quite land the bullets. No way, this is overzealous potentially. Perhaps, maybe over-aggressive, but they're not expecting it still. They've sucked up that space right back away from them. Sadak, the sole survivor of a position into Tree, lays down the nade, but there's no follow-up. Flash now to re-peek. It's a nice one, at least to try and cook up on the fly, but PRX are online.
It's so reminiscent of their game against Carmine Corp. The late resurgence in the final rounds. It's looking excellent. Loud dragged 2 of the maps against Sentinels into overtime. Are they able to do the same here? The economy is not good. Their game plans through mid have been countered. But they were winning when they dominated one side of the map and went for the exec.
And that's counter spam again. Les is trying to play it himself with the ult, and they're disrespecting him.
The same plays working out again for PRX. It's like they just run back the highlights of the previous rounds.
That's just insanity.
Forsaken spamming, as far as I can tell, the exact same line, and this time, Les goes down, something's feasting.
Down mid.
Little to no chance for Loud now. This map 1. It's going to be sealed up nice and pretty with a bow on top of it. For PRX, all the right adjustments at all the right time, but fuel to the fire just running out for Loud as well with his composition. They are struggling ever since they haven't been able to get those ults online, but Wingman sends them out flying. Quite connect. Kawazine seeking to try and pivot, but he can't break the door in time. Has to reload too on top of this. And already something is there. Following the sound cues, jiggle it out, baits out the op shot at least, but right into the judge. Now Forsaken, trapped in the corner, but it matters not. It's a 1v5, it would have to be the play of 2 years' career to stand even a chance in hell. And for PRX, the leisurely walk is what it feels like.
Left.
happy and secure in the knowledge that they are just setting sail into the sunset, happy as anything. Map 1 entirely wrapped up. A map here of this series. Should be relatively even. Both of these teams, they like to play this map. They're quite good at it in their own way and form.
I love the way the PRX approach this. We're going to see them immediately take some mid-control. The clashing tiles.
Yeah, they're just trying to fight them. They're watching for it.
Tui's. I think he got a collat there with the Ghost onto Divine and Monyet.
A ridiculous beginning here. Glad I can expect Mindfreak, who's worked his way in. He's thinking twice about it now. Backs himself into market. What a beginning. I mean, the smoke deep down, not expecting that tile's aggression there. That just comes down to a game of chance.
Yeah. PRX are so happy to opt into the variance that is ever present in this game and hope that it works out in their favor. The smoke there to try to block off certain sight lines coming from bottom mid. But as you say, they just had no idea that Loud were going to run a pistol, which also involved them charging towards mid through tiles.
They want to take the fight straight to him, try and earn a few more of these ults, less onto the corner.
It's a good idea for QCK to try to push through that, see if he can find the kill.
Yeah.
It's going to be his ult that they try to build up early, but that's not exactly the way the cookie crumbled to open things up. It's actually very close. Two kills and a death, plus the ult orb.
Yeah, we'll see how that opened up. I mean, yeah, they're just using that deep smoke to hide from a potential deep dart that gets used. Loud just above the sign of market.
Yeah. It's a specific counter-strap pistol, and Loud just happened to utterly destroy it.
Right here.
And now, PRX stacking towards the A side.
Standing ahead.
Smoking mid in the exact same fashion, hoping that somebody sees it. Just a call, like there could be that presence into mid.
Les completely alone here. He's going to get overwhelmed. And now PRX are going to understand that this was fake pressure early on over towards A. So Salek's got to accelerate. They've got to get into the B site. But you've always got to be worried with PRX. Is there still one player hanging around this area? It's going to slow them down slightly.
That's why they're clearing it. Due diligence. Showcase, drone through as well, making sure they're into the back of the site.
Flash.
Players though, deep flash. As long with that, I mean, a Dizzy, a wingman, everybody collided and collected into that deep corner here, but it just don't have the weaponry to really nail them. The paranoia was fantastic, and maybe more so. One player to stand. It's 2 years on 1 HP. Smoking onto the spike, it's turned just like that. Wall up, Devi blocking it, has to be broken here, but a reload for 2 years now, and he's so low that it just feels like he can't get the spam bullets on, spraying through, just needs one to really hit and connect. It's not happening! It's a massacre, Thrifty.
And Devi even cleaning up 2Es at the end. He can't recover the rifle, but what a round for PRX. And that is immediately in round 2 showing you some of the power that PRX have on defense. And it comes down to the fact that their comp is so good for flood defending into B. That flood defending back B is one of the most successful ways you can possibly play this map. And when you have flash dizzy combos to get into backside, and then sage walls to block stuff off and smokes additionally too, Loud are going to find it difficult in post-plant situations.
Nice, 4 spotted here. Wonderful indicator. What danger is there in this round? Maybe if 2 years is able to just flip the back ahead of Devi. Doesn't. He's in mid though.
2Es is fast to get into position to make the play. But 2 players doubled up, Devi and something looking to re-clear.
Yeah, good level of awareness.
And Forsaken also with pretty decent awareness on the other side, even though that one-way missed.
Yeah, into this corner. He's really stuck here. There's no repositioning. They've overwhelmed them. Doesn't matter about the superior weaponry. Needs to be that refight, the re-peek as well. A little bit just wrangling the beast that is their rifles. Aftershock can't be walking too far into this one. Dodging of the flash. Dizzy up into the air, but Salek, he's taking a fight straight to them, and now frustration really showing. Dodging at the timing. No! The dart just reveals and towards the back, and it's back-to-back Thrifties, man.
MasterCard are getting their money's worth today. I mean, we're coming off the back of the Sen-Gen G game where we just had Thrifties over and over and over too. I'm confused though. In what way was Forsaken stuck in the corner? Monyet's above it. He can walk backwards whilst keeping his crosshair focused towards A-Link. They could have set up a double face.
Yeah, they could have.
He's just kind of shoved himself in a corner looking to try to take the fight. I assumed he was just going to continue backing up. Very odd. opened up the door, though, for Loud. Opportunism. Finding them the second round there and getting things back on track. There's that same smoke to try to deny.
Oh my goodness, you're joking.
Spike down mid.
You're joking.
And it gets Cowanzine down
Again,
with
that's
the
a
spike.
dropped. And they've gained control and ground and another kill. You cannot be doing this to me now. I'm telling you, the MasterCard representatives will be very happy, but it's not exactly the most picture-perfect Valorant that we've ever seen here. Wingman alerting the presence, at least to know now that a few Loud players are here. Spike's still dropped down, but it's coordinated off, and they've obtained those rifles, and they're using them to great success. Now, I'm going to really just brute force their way through. They've gathered the Spike up, but listen, they're just spamming it through. One left to stand, Sadak. You can't overcome it. It's a back Thrifties.
This is ridiculous. This is so similar to Split with Sen Genji. The aggression coming out, very similar to the pistol round. And Loud, think of things from their perspective just for a moment here. They're in an elimination game. The pressure is on them. They're playing against a difficult opponent. They've only matched up against once, and they lost that time. Expectations are mounting for them to try to make a podium finish. You get the pistol win, you throw it away, you win it back, and it disappears out of your hands again.
Relation to disappointment, back again here for Loud.
A true roller coaster of emotions. Now, Cowanzine's trying to get Tiles to use this fault line that goes sideways and covers both sides, and they use it to pick off something. So once again, Bren, the team with worse utilities winning it out.
Okay.
I say worse utility, I scrambled my words. I meant worse weaponry. The utility was fantastic. But that's Cowanzine trying to get that deep Tiles position, and this time no one from PRX punishes him for it. It's just a game of playing over various different areas of map control and a little bit of gambling of where PRX want to fight.
QCK will lead the charge here, making sure all the areas are cleared. We're into the side, Cowanzine dart into a deep position. An attempt at a timing by Mindfreak is immediately punished. 2 left to stand, 2 left to fight. PRX, what have they got in them? Yeah, really wide face there, and he's going to get beamed down straight through the wall. Devi does have the money to make a go of this, but does he really still opt into it?
The thing is, their economy's still in a good spot because we've just been sent through the tombola machine. You never know what's coming out the other side, and we're all getting shaken up and down.
Backside position, though, quickly. Devi is going to be swarmed from this position. Molly at the feet, dropping down, and a nailed shot, man. I mean, so much precision.
I'm not saying it again,
You're not
Brendan.
saying it again?
I'm
okay.
not doing it.
I mean, I'll do it. I'll activate the sponsors. I'll make them happy. MasterCard Thrifty.
Look, Loud are now in a position, though, where they're starting to get huge ultimates online. Their composition has ults that you need like 7, 8 points to be able to get online. You're not supposed to really have access to these big ultimates as soon as the economy starts going for your opponent. But PRX are 1 away from being broken here. Not that that means anything in this map. And now Loud are pretty close to some big ults. Now I'm looking at Cowanzine's positioning. And he sends an early fault line up towards A and is trying to take space off the back of this recon. But look, he is quite exposed in mid here. And he's trying to take this Tiles position. The second fault line perhaps for a later re-clear over towards A. If indeed you had somebody like Forsaken looking to fight there or something with his operator.
Take flight.
Quite slow and steady, though. Cautious.
But they have multiple tools for these map control plays, and this time deciding to invest the drone. No tag, so no ult from Sadak.
Delayed wall.
Yeah, and if you break it, you give away that there was serious pressure behind
They're
that.
pinging up onto the top of it. I mean, Devi loves to play on top of this here. Great flash. Taken, rattles off a few bullets, lets them know his presence. Knife's going to be sent into the opposite direction there with 2 tags as he seek to try and make a go of this one here. Pop Flash plays the Hunter's Fury at his back to set it up, and then we're in anti-flash position. Okay, so Loud have the protocols to deal with that. Themselves now into this site. Will they choose to use any more ultimates? A bit of random spray once more by Devi. It's that Phantom at play, at
30
work.
seconds left.
A bit of chip damage, but nothing really more
comes
to
the
show
flood.
for it. And here it
4
is.
players blinded.
There, big one with the Dizzy on top of it. Rolling Thunder now has to be committed. Thrash slow to a crawl. Les is a monster in this spot. This particular position and any attempt here, they just want to barrel over the smoke position.
In video games, veggies are less rewarding.
Want to barrel over to smoke position. Something, no chance here on the retake, not with the operator now, so he has to just run tail between his legs.
PRX's composition is fantastic on those A retakes. You saw the amount of utility that was flying towards Loud, and they still managed to come out the other side unscathed. Mostly, I think, due to the fact that Kawanzin had managed to save his ultimate. They were thinking about investing it. You could see Kawanzin positioned in a spot where he was thinking of ulting sight towards A, but they took the gamble, saved it for the post plant, and came out to the good. Now Kawanzin...
Taking already up.
Kawanzin dying to spike there. Don't ask me.
Luckily they've got money to spare.
Yeah. But that's a great punish onto Forsaken. Unless choosing to try to take the aggressive option, not caught by any of that retake utility. It was perfect. Lesson Kawanzin stepping up for Loud.
Yeah, and now a timeout being taken here for PRX. The trouble is, how do you get a grip in terms of what is replicatable? Because the rounds that you're winning have been...
You have two teams like this that are so down to just opt into fighting against each other. It is going to vary. Form is going to play an enormous factor.
I feel like just a coin flip at times here. We could buy 4 PRX. We'll see if it makes a difference. Mindfreak is sole recipient of the rifle. He's going to be holding down a B angle just by himself here. Orb's going to be given up. Acknowledgement there with the Dizzy going down, so they know that there's players lurking around, a slow default play, which, you know, isn't anything out of the ordinary for Loud.
No, and you can see that Loud is starting these rounds really passively. They're making sure to not go for any deep plays over towards mid.
Or Mindfreak.
Barely going into B main until just now. Spot the shoulder of Mindfreak, and he hops away. Did they even really get confirmation there that he has a rifle? I'm not sure.
Mindfreak position. Always trying to tuck himself up onto the box here. Are they even going to be aware of it through slow orb at their feet? Kawanzin, a few random bullets. He might think it's cleared. It's not. Patience played to perfection here by Mindfreak. Might be looking for a few more still. He's dropped down to 2 of them. Divide has a gun of his own now, ready for the spray through, ready for the spray down, revealed. Tucks to the corner, sidearm out and wide, but less will put him down and put him to rest here, dodging to the flash, but he's got a lot to overcome now. Positioning flipped around, weaponry handed over. Discipline honed and ready, showcased by PRX. Now listen, the spike is on Les's side, but he's going to have no opportunity to really get a free plant off here. Molly down, running through it, Munyet, and there it is. Round 1, they know it, tucked to the corner, something. Recognizing the win conditions. Guess what? Another Massacre Thrifty.
Yeah, and also an ace. Just to cap off how absolutely crazy this game has been. We have another Thrifty round, powered by Mindfreak being able to get a Q play in this corner and Kawanzin not really able to clear it. Divide following up with the rifle. And Les does what he can, but it's not enough. Taking the risk, playing for that variance, and it pays off for Mindfreak. Now Loud, change up the pace.
Oh my goodness, it's PRX taking a fight straight to them. Yeah, Loud opted into that pace increase. They wanted to try and fight it. It ends up them being punished. One-way smoke as well. This is just sharpness on display.
That's wild. That caught me completely off guard. I mean, Loud have been playing such slow defaults to start these rounds off, focused on A main control, but not that fast. Forsaken almost caught a timing. Surely will.
With the gun, yeah, sticking wide and out. Tap, tap, tap with the AD. Yes, 2 years survives the duel and encounter. Has the spike in his hands, but he'd have to do a lot more than that to make this winnable, especially when he's on 8 HP.
And I'm not exactly sure what the read was there for Sadok in this round, but PRX have been fighting with 2 or 3 players every single time over towards A main. I think you've got to start trying to take space in the early round somewhere else on the map. You can go back and late re-clear with the fault line or the drone, but I think trying to just run in and take that fight straight up is gonna be so difficult. There are so many tools, though, that PRX have at their disposal with this no duelist composition. If you ignore A main completely, sometimes Divide might just wall it off, and then they can just ignore it. I mean, what are the chances that both teams just decide to fight A main that fast? the flash connections were so perfect. PRX fight through all of the smoke utility to get the kills.
Yeah, not just the flash connections, I mean the shots on target too.
Yeah. And that was something that I was a little concerned about going into this game, actually. Loud are going to take a tactical timeout, but I felt like...
It's form that carried them to this point. Right now, the ideas and time are kind of flourishing, honestly. They've got good reads, they've got good adaptations, they've got good counter strats, prepped and planned. They're making it so damn hard right now for Loud to try and deal with.
Again, PRX start 3 players ready to fight over A. And Loud go for the exact same default setup again. You know, Sova, Viper over towards A, Cowanzine in tiles. Ready for any kind of mid-aggression, sure, but not actually taking aggressive map control in B main or market, anything like that.
Up through mid, face wide, doubled up in the high-low, but no casualties or kills yet. Devi, he's making a go of it, he's making a mess of it. I mean, Kawazun puts him to rest.
Yeah, the Mosh got a kill, and Sadak's just sticking the orb right in the middle of all of these guys' faces.
Oh, win. Oh, no.
Wait!
He's what? What's going on?
That's wild. Just hoping that he would find another player involved. Cowanzine sprays down
What?
2, but something gets the response. And it's all left to Tui's, who, of course, is not in A main where the fight is happening.
No, he wouldn't be. He'd be on the other side of the map, of
And
course.
He certainly is, without the Omen ult to be able to make the play happen. Thrash hunting him out. Smells blood in the water, but can't quite get a sniff this time.
Misdirection might be working to the favor
30 seconds
of
left.
2 years now. Time pressure will work against him. Spike has dropped down into no man's land.
If something gives him a free kill, though, this is winnable.
That's how the clutch really begins, but he was just aiming in the wrong location. 4 kills in the round for something.
And this round, Loud did actually try to... It wasn't early round market control, but QCK started walking into mid after they realized PRX weren't fighting it, and then was looking to prod towards that area of the map.
Yeah.
But there was no smoke up towards top mid, not enough players in mid to dominate those sight lines. And so there's a kerfuffle that happens over there that PRX come out, I guess, to the good. And Sadak's trying to make it fake like it's happening over towards A, and the PRX players just peek. The more mess that's involved here, the more I think you start playing towards PRX's strengths.
Fast play again. Deep molly, deep dart, flash into the corner. Munyet's here with the judge. No clearance. No clearance. It's starting to get sloppy. It's starting to get sloppy indeed. And guess what? Exactly where a team like PRX thrives. Pound for pound, this team, they were born and bred in the chaos. And they're showcasing exactly why. You can never underestimate this squad still.
Ultimate is ready.
Munyet walks straight into it. 2 years, again, brought into essentially an unwinnable scenario.
Another round, another Loud player
Surrounded.
in a 1vx, completely surrounded.
Yep.
And PRX are coming out here. They're really not adjusting their defensive setup too much. It's that Loud cannot come up with the answers. We've now seen 4 rounds in a row, roughly following the same kind of trend, where Loud want to take control of A and push PRX back, and they can't figure out how. The judge, the paranoia, the swings from both sides, just getting pulled into the maw of PRX.
I saw smiles on the faces of the PRX players. Of course it would be.
Yeah, not the coach.
Never Alex. It's scary when he smiles, actually. You don't expect it.
This is the first time PRX decide not to fight over towards A, so we might see a very different round here. Loud are actually being given this space. PRX anticipating that they would change it up. Surely they don't go A main again after we've just been beating them.
Allowed not to be deterred, though. One away from the ultimates. Sonic builds up his deep drone that wasn't used to clear elbow, so they can start to use that now towards the site. Munyet, his position is vulnerable here. It's a pop flash play to set him up with a bit of supportive utility. He wants to disengage now with a smoke dropped down. No command, feeling the heat, feeling the pressure.
That's a weird one, actually, because it looks like they're playing for retake, but they've popped the null command. And Loud think that they're anchoring the site, so they haven't committed. This is a strange standoff.
Line in the sand has been drawn. Deep TP into mid here, 2 years. I believe just sticking that one, so he's given himself a deep position to mid. Probably won't matter too much. Munyet might be eager, though, for a challenge here. How's your reaction time? Sun, flashes on flashes. Paranoia to meet their match. And a deep dart as well that's not going to be accounted for. Hunter's Fury, though, tucks into it, gets the connection, gets the collision course straight into these players. And Munyet does a decent job of just avoiding it. Dodging, ducking, weaving, but not enough there. And a repeat with the Outlaw. Something has something to say. On a reload, online, shock darts, though, jumping around the punish, and they're out wide and open, ready for the taking.
I am a mountain.
Even when Loud are given control of elbow, PRX still find a way to come out on top. This is 5 rounds in a row now. After a very back and forth beginning, when no team could really get a handle on the economy, everything that Loud tries, bearing in mind that this was a lower eco buy as well, but it's all just been getting crushed. Surely Loud are going to change things up. And this time their attacking setup, does look slightly different. PRX have already anticipated it though.
Mid.
Tiles flash
Mid. One is here already. Forwards in the approach, and he is set up with that util. Run it back, dealt with, and dropped immediately. These ults just tumbling before our very eyes here. The deep pit into B main.
It is a great read though from Les. He realizes that if they're fighting over mid, they can't be doing their normal A setup. So he takes this timing into elbow. There is a chance that a bullet could find the back of something's head here.
Yeah, he's not watching for it, and so he will be falling. Flatlined to the side, and a sight gains now for Les. Going to be calling for the rotate and the pivot. Smokes.
He could drop a pit.
Falling down, he certainly could, and really turn this into more than a winnable spot with 2 years in that late lurk player, dropping like flies. 2v3 here. Loud have a massive advantage here with the pit, with the Rolling Thunder. Really just letting it loose and letting it rip here. Sky high, that's Devi. He's going to be flying forwards and won't be able to withstand any sort of pressure there, leaving it just to Mindfreak now.
Mindfreak's been good at catching 2Es in all of these previous rounds, but finally 2Es gets his value on the lurk. Loud with 5, but questions in my head about whether or not that's going to be enough.
Who knows?
There was a serious streak there of dominance from PRX on the defense side, and I do like the way that PRX play their attack too. I think both of these teams are very confident in Sunset. Still, anybody's game, but Loud, the team under the most pressure.
Of course, listen, it's elimination. They're already 1 map behind. It's going to have to be that comeback, starting at the pistol round in that second half. Before we even get into that as well, earlier we did hear from Forsaken, just heading into this series.
Kind of thing, and worry about the fact that you're outside of it, the worse it gets. But just getting absorbed into this tournament seems to have brought back some of that synergy. Some of the single-mindedness that we see from them, the hive mind of PRX.
That's what made them deadly.
And the pistol rounds have been, well, I hesitate to say important because they did flip-flop a lot at the beginning of this map. But they could be decisive. Everybody on PRX grouped up to try to punish 2Es.
Disrespecting for that one here. 2 years, backs away with the TP, off-angle approach now with the paranoia, sent flying onto the left-hand side. 2 years, so not accounted for. QCK just trying to back him up as well as bail him out, and they are just collecting all sorts of kills, but the damage done through the wall, not enough to collect the kill onto Devi.
Too far forward and not playing great angles. Pushing themselves into spots where they couldn't quite get it. Overextending to deal with Devi. Sadak shocks himself on the corner, but does pick up the kill.
Getting flustered, perhaps. Okay, there eventually with the reset of the aim. Les, a 1v3. You've seen magic.
He's done damage, but he can't get through this wall. It's so powerful on the pistol, on both sides.
Right there.
For the retake,
Right there.
to block off angles in the post. It's such a nice addition to the KO Gecko comp that a lot of teams have been looking at.
Look at this, too much to clear really for Les. Big man in his face, follow through with the bullets. No kill collected, but he does have too much to do. Already the time's getting away from him. Look at PRX. Stanced up, holding their ground, swinging off the contact, and that's pistol round 1 out for them. It's been so damn important. Like you said, you know, we've been talking about the details of the importance of it, despite the initial start of this first half, but really it sets them up beautifully.
Look, the slow up there, Devi is used as bait, and they really do bait Loud into taking bad fights in that situation. All of this was set up as well by an underhand KO flash combo with the Dizzy. I know that people have been looking at the something POV and talking about how he doesn't, you know, recycle the Gecko utility as much, that kind of thing. But they are really good at being able to combo those together to apply a lot of pressure to their opponents. And frankly, PRX move fast enough that sometimes you wouldn't even use a second round of Gecko util. Les takes an opportunity to try to go aggressive, gambling on the fact that PRX would not have everybody stacked in B main.
This is where the danger zone presents itself for a team like Loud as well, because yeah, you've lost a pistol round, but PRX on our attack side again. Very ult generation heavy. Something now one away from the Thrash to be used into the bonus round into the next. Assuming Loud can't do too much more damage here on their retake.
On the flash peek into backside as well.
Whoa!
Kawazi picking up 2. Still got that wall, but 2 is on the flank.
Yeah, Peppered here, holding the util. Good adjustment by Mindfreak.
Close. A decent opportunity, actually, to turn that away. And send us down the spiraling path of thrifty after thrifty. But it was not to be. And as you were saying, Brett, building up something's ultimate here is really devastating for Loud. Difficult to deal with. And I think the addition of the Sage Wall just makes so many of these post plants a little easier to play. This is a map where we've seen a lot of teams develop really solid retake setups, where the amount of utility coming in just ends up being overwhelming. But if you force the retakers down a certain path dictated by that Sage Wall, things get a little easier for PRX.
Just throw a wrench into the plans of a lot of teams. I mean, Sage is so unorthodox on this map. Early Thrash. Used to set up here, out towards A.
But a fake in terms of where the pressure's actually coming from.
Yeah, I mean, he did have the spike on him, but the rest of his team now working into mid. Pop flash, wall up. Hearing all this noise, hearing all these sounds, but you can't survive it past the box. A call is made, though. Loud want to commit into this fight. I'm going to commit heavily, out wide. Miscommunication, perhaps. Something drops down as well, forced into the spectator's seat with the spike drop down. It's a favoured situation for Loud now.
They have spike. Very difficult to retrieve. If Monier gets another smoke online, which he does, he just sneaks in, sneaks out. And now all of Loud are in a pretty rough spot. They don't have any map control or information. Could be worried about some lurking happening here. So just like that, suddenly there's a lot of doubt in the heads of this Brazilian team.
A daylight robbery from Monier.
You'd expect the spam to be coming through as soon as the smoke gets deployed.
It wasn't there, though. And now, because Loud was so heavily stacked up around that spike position, as you were saying, they've lost all map control.
Yeah.
They're having to triple up and re-clear everything together just in case.
And they're slow to do it as well. What you see from PRX is that after throwing that A utility, they were immediately up mid. And I was praising Sadak in the games that I've been recently watching Sunset. He's very aware of those mid-lurk timings, but PRX are faster than Loud are anticipating. And didn't we see that all the time on Ascent? With individuals finding timings ahead of when they were going to be expected. And look at the map here, how far away the nearest Loud player is. PRX have got tons of time to try to reposition into a spot where they can upend the player disadvantage.
Miles away. PRX seeking to try and fight them deep into these angles. Now Loud already for it with those protocols. Moniet left alone to his devices. Only the Spectre in his hands. It would have to be a miracle. It would have to be mistakes to be made. Less though, hot on his heels as well to really collect up that kill and get that trade online. So that was a bonus round for PRX. The 2 players surviving for Loud, they might even consider that a bit of a success.
Yeah, I think I would. PRX's economy's in a really nice spot. And not just that, they did find a timing through mid. So anytime one of these timing-based macro plays works, it's going to add another layer of confusion in Sadak's calling.
Yeah.
Because with a composition like this, you have to be mobile to plug the gaps. And if you're slower than your opponents, you're going to leave those gaps open. Something, of course, he is picking up the attack side operator here on Gecko. His opping was sublime on Ascent, one of the big reasons that Loud are now 1 map away from elimination.
Massive round for Loud. Have to really lock this one up. Pretty heavy with the economical investment across the board from Loud. I mean, 2 players with a bit of money to spare, all picked up as well. So Forsaken just doing his darnest to try and build up towards that big ultimate.
And a very slow beginning to the round from PRX. Loud choosing to try to fight A main there. Recommitting to the angle after this utility was thrown.
Pushing them up. Here's a pivot, though, straight into market. They've got anything to try and push 2 years off. Here are the sound cues. Tidy placement there with a snake bite. Less well-timed on top of it. Here we go. Drone into mid. Moniet. Second tag. Fakes like he could be TPing away, but he still maintains his position and his composure. In through mid now. Deep knife going to be landing into market. Wall through. Broken immediately. Couple of shots sprayed out. Can't quite break it, though. Moniet could really be that insurance player now. Coming out from the back. Here's the rotation. QCK collects him. Quick on it with the trigger. Now we see it. Players lit up like a beacon. Something only the 1 instant trade. Something Forsaken just trying to play in tandem with each other, but they are overwhelming them. Mindfreak towards the back. Less is dodging and weaving, gliding across the floor. He finds it now, leaving it to Devi. Time ticking away. What is the call here? Tapping again, this time less sticking, not making the same mistake as the prior game 2 years. Locking down the angle and approach.
Loud coming out with a big win there after allowing PRX to get in onto site. Really crucial that they picked up that mid lurk. QCK's at the bottom of the scoreboard, but most of that is because he found it so difficult on the attack side to get in through A main. He just got beaten up over and over again in that same position. It's not really that he's even been able to take some fair duels. I'm surprised at how much the PRX economy was hurting there. They came into that round with a Stinger and a Spectre, even though I thought they were taking the previous one as a bonus. Clearly they didn't. PRX messing with their own economy a little bit has put them in a really tough spot.
Oh, they're going to be happy with it. Ooh, wall down. Face potentially can hear it. The footsteps rumbling towards him. He's looking for a tussle and a tumble. Less backing away. Will be postured away from that angle.
It's very rare that you see Less scrambled, but he did seem a little less than his calm usual self there. Forced to backpedal at some pace.
Clear game plan here for PRX, making sure that they can absorb up all the orbs around the map. PRX now defaulting back over towards B main.
And Tui's getting posted on A with the AWP. This is something that Loud have brought out fairly recently, but Tui's has been doing quite a lot of AWPing at this event so far.
Yeah.
And it allows them just to post him up on A, and they're not too worried. They can keep stacks towards the rest of the site. Having said that, Loud are mostly playing B for retake here. Not going to have any way of being able to challenge this.
Inside the market, Dizzy. What's that connection there onto QCK? So it looks like the wall is intact. Wasn't able to spam it down in time. Forsaken. Tux. Side by side wants to play together now. Him and something here. Running back forwards, facing with it. The flash is not connecting here. Less running back, feeling really the heat and the pressure. But Kawazin seeks to relieve it. And now back in.
In video games, veggies are less...
Really the heat and the pressure, but Kawazin seeks to relieve it, and now back into the action and the fight. Rolling Thunder committed. You're not getting away with that one yet. Tried to TP to evacuate and escape the Aya. Still after shock. Plenty of util left. Where that come from? Mindfreak. 2 on the table now. 2 left to go. Dropping down. Knows they're not on it. Peeking through. Another tap will force Mindfreak out into the open. Kawazin really seeking to deny this one. Not half! Running him down! Mindfreak performs magic before our bloody eyes.
What a ridiculous round for PRX to get. That was them on basically an eco round as well. Gonna be labeled as a Red Bull clutch, but could just as easily be called the Thrifty. Their economy was not good. It all came down to Mindfreak, and Loud could not find a safe position to go for the half.
Hesitation just to stick it and trust that they could potentially just hold down the angle. The Kawazin in that spot. I mean, it's super reminiscent, honestly, of the other day.
It's very...
How to play in Sen, John QT's playing the clutch. They can't decide who's sticking, a bit of miscommunication, maybe getting frantic.
It's very tough in those situations where you don't have those timings to disrupt the Loud retake. And if they just sit there, they can do that against other teams, but not against the comp that Loud are running. They're going to get obliterated. See if they change things up or coordinate that post-plant aggression just a tad bit better.
Strange buy though for Loud.
It is, yeah. It is a
Invested into
force.
it. Yeah.
But Les would rather have a sheriff than anything else.
This guy, I mean, he is incredibly consistent with it.
He is.
It's insane.
Got some of the best calm, raw aim based on his crosshair placement that I've ever seen.
Slow beginning though for PRX, nice and cautious off the rip. Trying to see if Loud will overplay their hands initially. Lots of ults really to work with for PRX on top of that, so being given that B main control essentially for free. Looking like there is that hesitation though in terms of how they want to play it.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've spotted 2Es, and that seems to be a hard read, that if they see 2Es over towards A, it's not the Breach Phoenix setup. Because they were ready to go for the B exec there, and now they've just come all the way back over towards A. And that's got to be a call from Mindfreak, I think, because he's the only one getting info on this side of the map earlier. They're going to hit a fairly weak site. 30 seconds on the clock.
Orb rebounding, 2 years chance to play spoiler. But no, he's out of there, so. Sticking around to find out with this one. Hunter's Fury to try and deny this one. Plant will be disrupted. Flash up into the air. It's actually a nasty one as well. Connected onto a multitude of players. Now the Plant and the Pit all layered down onto the site. This does make it difficult. Toxic Screen going to be covering pretty much the entirety of the field.
No way of really using these Flash players to retake in this spot.
Absolutely. Paranoia though, Monyet going to be using this one nice and early, still holding for the shotgun. Molly at your feet, Mindfreak going to be pushed out to the open, and he is the critical player. Has to dodge and duck and weave away from these bullets. Led just flying straight past him as they're trying to attempt to clear through. Look at the ore placement on high. 2 years. He's got so much more to do from this position. He just doesn't have enough info to really work with. Disastrous here for Loud with the fact that it was that weaker investment. In fact, the total investment. Correction from me. Loud, they did put everything into that one.
It was weaker because it was a force. They were coming into it with at least one Sheriff and I think a Stinger to work with.
Yeah.
But they forced into this to try to stop PRX from getting to 11 on the board. Loud are now only 2 lost rounds away from being eliminated in 4th place.
When was the last time that happened?
I mean, top 4 of the Masters, listen, that is not bad by any means. They made it to playoffs, but when there's only 8 teams here, sure, 8 of the top teams. Look at this, another boost play coming out from PRX.
Oh! It's disgusting.
They were innovating with that over towards A, and they do it again. Very reminiscent of when they first brought out the Sage Comp on Pearl. Bait out the fights here from QCK and Tui's. And this tower is coming crumbling down. Making a fool of Leicester boot.
It's pure whimsy. Smiles on the faces as they're having it. I mean, they have brought this to series point, match point. Loud on the verge of being eliminated.
And I don't think many people had PRX winning in 2-0 fashion. Loud now need 5 in a row to be able to pull this out. And for them to go for this boost play, they know that the Dizzy has been broken in many rounds, so they know that somebody is top mid, waiting to break that piece of Gecko utility. They boost up, get the punish, and all of that in a round where Loud were just going for the eco anyway, trying to play for overtime. Forced to by the Force in round 19. Or round 18, I should say.
And this is now going to take some heroics. Attack there with a knife. What's
He's so
the call
fast.
now for PRX?
He's so fast.
Fast! Monyet doesn't care, man! Disrespectful in nature. Back, though, of the head. Flipped up by Kawazin as he does seek out that trade, and he will be granted it. Now to Thrash, though. Set this one up forwards here, still slowed. Seeking to reposition. Kawazin lays down the law and potentially gives them a fighting chance.
Can he be the hero just when his team needs it? One more onto Forsaken, important, and he takes it.
Good control.
4K in the round.
Something drops him, though. No ace to be really looked for. Something pulling this out of seemingly nowhere. 1v1 and Loud. Desperation. QCK knows the position. Throws the molly. Flash round dodge. Juked. Avoided. QCK saves the day.
It takes such heroics from Loud to just put the first of 5 necessary rounds on the board. Kawazin was slowed up. Top A link. Had to take out 2 players where the trade, it looked like the spacing was good. And he'd already shut down that play from Monyet. Deletes 2 players as they come around the corner there. Mindfreak and Divide both falling. And it still came down to a 1v1. Oh.
You have to see that repeated a few more times. Loud, ideally with a couple more players intact, because taking some nasty hits to the eco. It'll have to be done if they want to stay alive in the series, stay alive in the tournament.
Something, looking to try to take an early timing here. Dueling against Les. I don't see how he's going to find the opportunity facing against this Viper wall. Les normally plays a little more passive, actually.
We have seen, you know, when Loud's back is up against the wall, Les tends to take matters into his own hands. Mindfreak taken out. They still have the res online for this one, but Divide, with him falling, no longer available.
The reaction from PRX, looking to try to hoover up this B control. Given that Les was peeking over towards Market.
Straight in there.
Empty.
Dizzy committed by something. He's looking to see if he can get himself onto the deeper line. You don't expect that. Drops it. 3 versus 3 now. The knife attack. Info gathered, at least that they know that Les is going to be there, but he's already playing now. High-low setup. The rest of his team out wide here. Something going for the peak, going for the peak! Catches it in the perfect timing. A bullet to the chest with the IGL down and deleted. 2 left standing less. Again, heroics are necessary. And it has to be coming out swinging, traded. 1 to stand, 2 years to do the most. A fake with the TP, a paranoia evaded and dodged and juked, but the crossfire setup is too strong, it's too damn strong, and PRX seal it away. Loud, dropping out. See you later, sent to the airport.